Hello, ladies and gentlemen of our CastIt. This is the Danny Store bringing you my second cast ever. Just kind of found the subreddit and really liking it, so we're just going to jump right to it. Down here in the bottom left, we have our Protoss player, Frostalgia, like a frosty look in the past, if you will, a memory of a long-lost winter. And in the top right, we have our Terran player, Strato. And this one is posted, and apparently there's going to be an all-in of some sort, and the game just kind of goes on from there. So, oh no, we want the nameplate, not that. So, there that goes. So, I'm not quite sure what exactly is going to happen. This is a completely cold cast. I didn't look into the game at all. I like just kind of winging it and seeing what happens. So, yeah, just a regular 9 scout coming out here for our Protoss player. Nothing special, nothing to write home about. I'm just itching to see who's going to do the all-in, where it's going to come from. Not quite sure what it's going to be, but we will keep an eye on both these bases, and we'll see if we can figure it out a little bit before it happens. Now, this game's going to be a little bit longer, apparently. I think it's going to be very back and forth from what the description said, so I did cheat a little bit and read the description that they put on Reddit, but, you know, you got to do that as a caster a little bit, know what you're getting yourself into. So, not a whole lot of deviation going down here. Just got a gateway going up, normal timing right at 13. Protoss player scouting, nothing from the Terran yet. Not going to try to proxy anything. So I'm not quite sure. If I had to guess, I'd say the Protoss might be gearing up for something. Here's the SCV. It looks like it's going to be a command center first. And this probe may just arrive at the perfect time to see it. We will see. Switch over to his view, and yes, he does get a quick glimpse of it. So our Protoss player now knows, and we'll see what he does in response. Double gas is coming up, so may want to go a little bit tech heavy, but not quite sure yet. 16, we'll see another pylon going up. He's chasing the probe away, so he's not going to get any sort of proxy up, at least with that guy. And there's cybernetics core and a pylon, so no real deviation yet. He's going 2 in each gas, it looks like. Yes, he is, so it might be a little bit more of a higher level build. I believe this was 2 players at master level, so a lot of times when people get these, 2 out of the 3 gases, it's pretty efficient. It's something along the lines of about 80%, 75% efficiency of having 3 in each, but you get just a little bit of extra minerals, so it can really help out if you're going for very precise builds. We're getting a follow-up with 2 Raxes here for our Terran player. Thus far, neither one really going anything particularly all-in-ish, but we'll see the warp gate starting, no additional gates or anything. Pylon started on the high ground. Not quite sure if Frostalgia, or Frost as I will call him for short, since that is quite a mouthful. Not quite sure if he's going to throw down an expansion. He's not banking up any minerals, so I don't really expect it to. And lucky for him, this Stalker might be out just in time, as he does see the SCV coming in. So this scout will be pretty much denied unless he wants to sacrifice the SCV. We'll see what happens. And you should have seen this probe going down. That should be pretty indicative that an expansion's going to go up. He also can kind of count pylons, see that there's only 2 here. You know, Protoss player by this timing, right around 5 minutes, should easily have 3 by now, which he does. Meanwhile, the Terran player setting up with a bunker in front. Strato is just plugging away, getting that macro up. And he's going to go right into a second bunker, which is a little interesting. Must not have liked something that he saw. And we actually had, I don't remember if that was a cancel or if he never actually put it down. But he's going to go right into a 3 gate. And I'm surprised. Oh yes, there's a Twilight Council here. So I'm guessing some sort of blink, or it could be DTs, and blink goes up right away. The gas was a little ambiguous, so now the mothership core, and this is going to be a 3 gate blink, so not quite an all-in, but I mean, he's definitely going to have to get something done. With 2 bunkers here, this bunker's in a very nice placement. That way, if he blinks up here, maybe if he blinks down, he can sneak around up this way, right into the mineral line. Not going to be easy, though, especially with this bunker up front. He's probably just going to go right into the main, probably with this area. I'd see 2 proxy pylons coming down. That looks like it is exactly what he wants to do. That scan, he sees the 3 gates. Not terribly indicative, though, because he did miss if there is an expansion. So he's not quite sure what's going to happen. And now a little late on these warp-ins. You'd like to have these pylons up already. And finally that one goes up, and we'll see 3 Stalkers getting warped in sometime. Hopefully. There they are. Almost made me look like an idiot there, but that's okay. And a third bunker. So Strato knows that something's going on here, and I like his position in these bunkers, but he's going to need something on the high ground. He's got a tech lab just now building, and honestly, with the small amount of Marines he has, he may not be able to hold with some good control from our Protoss player. We will have to see what's going to happen here. You know the point of entry's got to be right here. He's not going to mess around at all, and he's going to see this a little late, and he's going to be in some big-time trouble. We're going to see he's finally got some production going. Oh, and that supply depot is going to go down. That will supply cap him. Oh, and that second one has the extra supply on it, so that's going to really supply cap him. And here comes the massive SCV pull and Marines. Now let's see about the Blink Micro. Frost, yes, blinking out one at a time. There goes one. Ooh, a Stalker goes down. A second one goes down. Third one. And a little bit sloppy there. Could have been a little bit. He didn't need to be so aggressive. You know, he's already done damage. He's keeping all of these SCVs off of mining. So he really, I don't quite know if I like how aggressive he was with that. And Strato smartly backs off. And the SCVs will get in here. This is trading pretty even for both players. They are now even in workers. Oh, and yes, and the mothership core will go down. That's a very big deal. There will be no more blinks, and he's got these bunkers at the front. He needs to run some Marines into those bunkers. He needs to get them in. And he's taking pot shots at them, and the Stalkers are just going to run by and go right into the main base. That's a beautiful move. Meanwhile, we have Stim on the way. All kinds of Marines. 3 more coming out. Now we have all the SCVs being pulled again. Very intense action. 1 Stalker goes down. Is he going to save this one? He's going to blink it out. No, he does not. 2 Stalkers go down. Getting a little sloppy there. That Stalker goes down additionally. Good targeting by Strato, keeping Marines on that one as it went to the low ground. Warping in 2 Stalkers at a time. He's got 15 SCVs right now, but he's got 2 mules going down. He's got double SCV production. That's going to help him out, and we see a Templar Archives and an expansion going up for our Protoss player. So he has decided that this is no longer worth it. No, I really think he should have kept going just a little bit, maybe built a mothership core, flown it over, at least start kind of picking at these drones a little bit. There's a great way if you come in right through here, because this was salvaged. You can blink right past this part, get right behind the minerals. There's not a lot going to be there, and you have a clear escape route. You have a choke point here, and you can come up and blink down to the low ground. Really beautiful escape route there, but not going to be utilized. Supply, is relatively even. See our Protoss player going into 2 forges. That's going to allow him to get double upgrades going on. He will be in front of our Terran player, who I believe has yet to have an engineering bay, and no, he does not. He has concussive shells. Woo, that's a tough one. Coming up for him, and he already has Stim that was being researched while the assault was going on. So this is going to somewhat normalize into a different game. Just kind of a more standard game, it looks like. Strato's deciding to maybe push his luck just a little bit. He's going to really push out. I'd like to see medevacs with this group to really make this a more well-rounded attack, but Stim is just so devastating to these units when they do not have any medevac support. And I know that Templar Archives is down, Charge coming up, both of those being researched. Storm has not been started yet. So we'll have to see when that starts and if he can get some high Templar. He warps these in assuredly for Archons. And this assault, I don't know how much damage this can really do. He's got a decent amount of units here, but with a couple more warp-ins, he should be okay. I'd like to see him have a mothership core. The Nexus cannon would certainly shut this down. And we'll see what he can get done. A little bit of a premature Stim. Frost is smartly running away a little bit. He's trying to target down, it looks like that Archon. And really poor control a little bit. He kind of got in a little bit too deep. The Protoss player should blink right on top of that army and crush it. There's the blink. He's going to pick that off all the way back, and that was really bad for Strato. That's a big-time lead. You see his macro also getting a little bit out of control. He's sitting at 1,400, and he really needs to get some more production going. 2 medevacs coming out. He's got Tech Lab, Reactor. He needs more barracks, or at least start pumping something out of the factory. Would really like to see some Widow Mines here. He's going to be defensive, and that's something really well that will defend against the Protoss player. Also, you saw he went Twilight Council, so there's no reason to expect that he has a Robo up at this time. So detection is going to be at a premium, and he's just not really going to have it. So we're a little interested to see what's going to happen here. Storm is finally started. You have +1 is only for the Terran player, whereas our Protoss player has got +1/+1. So he will have a little bit of an advantage. Now this game is gonna kind of normalize just a little bit. As far as the economy goes, both of them are very even. Strato's got a better spread because of those mules, and the gas, he's only got 1 in each of them here, and 3 and 3 up here, whereas the Protoss player, I believe, has 3 in all of them, and he does. And we're going to have a drop attempt coming in here. We'll see what that does. And this factory using just as a little bit of a scout. Missed these 2 pylons, which are still up. Protoss player going in for a 3rd. He's being pretty defensive, and he's been pretty successful thus far. No reason to think otherwise. Now, if he could jump in here and get this before storm, I don't think that he'll be able to unless he really boosts in and targets it immediately. I do not believe that he can get there, and he definitely will not. He is dropping over a little bit of a dark area, but the Protoss player knows he's here. And we're going to zoom out until this assault goes through. And he's got enough for storm here. The feedback won't be too effective. And a smart move by the Terran player to get out. Saves the medevac, most importantly. And that was a pretty good attack. A lot of lost mining times. Killed probes there. And we'll see this factory on a good route. It's going to scout this 3rd base before any probes are even transferred over. Our Terran player, a little bit supply locked. He's had to use several of these supply depots instead of mules, and that does hurt him. He's at a hard supply lock right now. 2 depots only halfway done. That's really rough for his economy. Really want to kind of fix that out. He's got combat shield on the way. Meanwhile, our Protoss player went right into +2/+2. And to be honest, he is a little weak. He's going to be relying heavily on storms for all of his defense, especially against these drops. We'd like to see him maybe go a little bit of a rain style. He's got the forges anyway. If you throw up 1, maybe 2 cannons in each mineral line, it keeps you 100% safe. You can keep your army together. They can really do a lot for you. And, you know, 300 minerals per base isn't a huge price to be completely safe from this sort of thing. And we will see the Protoss player can see this, just hasn't seen it on the mini-map. Now he's going after it. And what a good feedback. That was beautiful. And here's just clearing out pylons where he's got a simultaneous drop over here, but this doesn't do anything either. Really not much done on either front. Frost just has his defense up all the way on all sides. He's really kind of leaving the natural open, but that's okay when he's got his defense up here and guarding at the 3rd as well. It becomes a question of really, what do you do here if you're Strato? You know, he's down a little bit in upgrades. I think he might have a little bit better army composition thus far. He's got a lot of Marauders in here, which is very nice. He knows that Blink was a key part of this build. With all these Zealots and these Storms are going to be key, and he has no semblance of a Ghost Academy going up anywhere currently. Or excuse me, he does have it, but no Ghosts out yet. So we will see if those EMPs can go off. He does have enough for them. We'll have to see. He needs a very good EMP to hit pretty much all of these Templars, and then he can crush this force. But with the Storm, it's going to be very rough, and I would like to see an EMP even on the Mothership can be a very good call. It would eliminate those time warps. We'll see what happens here. Poking up just a little bit, and he's going to go right up with these Storms. We'll see if he can EMP. It's a very tense moment. If these Ghosts can get an EMP off right here, and he decides not to go for it. Oh, and a great surround, and now these are coming in. Oh, this is going to be devastating for him. And that's a pretty crushing blow. He's got more reinforcements. He gets a little bit of an EMP off, but not great. And these Storms are just devastating all of Strato's units. He's going to try to repair this. Honestly, these Storms can do such great work against these SCVs if he'd only cast him. He's got the energy. He really should be using them. And here comes the EMP on the High Templars. He casts a Storm. And he only gets 1. Not the best there. Oh, but he left him wide open. Picks off 1. That will help him start to come back. Those concussive shells doing great against the Zealots. There's not a whole lot left here. Strato might have a little bit better production as both these players' macros getting a little bit ridiculous. Our Protoss player, if you have 1,200 minerals, just start throwing on gateways so you can add on. Start getting everything you need at once. And an interesting move here. He's got the factory landed. He's going to drop a Widow Mine directly into the mineral line. I'm not sure if Frost has seen it or is just ignoring this fact. I know he seems pretty busy up here, but it doesn't look like anything's really happening. He has warp-ins. He'd bring in some Zealots here, but right now this is going to do damage for sure. It's going to be very annoying. There is a robo out on the field, and he does not have an observer at all. And here goes the first hit. Looks like he got 4 there. Yes, he did. The Protoss player wondering what he's going to do now. Cannot believe that he just allowed this to happen. And the scan going down catches a good amount of the army. Doesn't see these High Templar in the back, but now he does. Those did jump in just a little bit. Oh, and these ghosts. This is excellent position up here. Oh, get some great EMPs off. He could throw another 1 or 2. He's got to be worried about these High Templar coming in. These storms are really going to clean up. Kiting backwards. Our Protoss in a very dominating position. Going to take down the 3rd, and that will be very rough. Very rough for Strato. Not sure if he's going to be able to come back. The Protoss player should retreat from here. He can try to push forward, but as I said, he does a smart thing. Pushes backwards. He's going to open up these rocks. These Templar still with enough storms. And I'm really not quite sure if Frost is going to be able to come back. Here comes this Widow Mine again. Ooh, 3 probes again. That one's now up to 12 kills at this base. Frost just completely ignoring it. And Strato actually has a little bit better economy in terms of workers, but this base is going to be close to mined out. This one actually is much lower, dropping down to 12 there. He's got all these mules here, very oversaturated. He should actually transfer some back to his main. Really needs some down here. We'll see this army, not extremely impressive for either player, but those storms, if he can knock out the storms, he can really do a lot of work to this army. The EMPs need to be good, but as of right now, it's just not going to happen. More and more workers. It looks like he finally did clean up that Widow Mine. Sorry that I missed that. And finally, we do see more gateways. Another pylon coming down. I think if he was smart, I think he is correct in doing this. He's going to push around, break through these rocks, push around this backside. This is a very narrow choke point. It's very bad for EMPs and storms both, so neither player will be able to go back or forth through here. And he decides to go for it. The High Templar are in the back. Oh, plenty of good storms. He obliterates most of the army. The Zealots are in front doing work. Oh, and a money storm goes down. That storm's doing absolutely killing all of those units, and he just doesn't have much left. Now he has a Colossus in the mix. Our Terran player, I don't think that he's going to have enough here. Luckily for him, I mean, the Mothership core went down, but they're just not... I don't think he's going to have enough. Our Protoss player still on 3 base, now adding more production, has a big-time bank. He can make tons of Archons, which is what he definitely should be doing. I expect a big swell of Archons to be coming in with 1,800 gas, and he's very mineral deficient. There we go. We see 3, 4, and almost enough for 5 Archons, so just like I told, he's definitely going to bring that up, and that brings his army very scary. I don't know how many ghosts. I can't quite see how many are under there. There are no ghosts on the field, 2 being made. And that's just not going to be enough. If he goes right now, I think he's got a very good shot to do some serious damage. However, he is allowing this Terran player to have this somewhat hidden 3rd, if you want to call it that. The Protoss player simply has not checked there yet. Has no idea that that base exists. And we'll see how this goes. Oh, and that's just terrible for our Terran player, running back, getting no damage done. Retreats back to the ramp. And we'll see, here come these High Templar. He can storm on top of the ramp. There's no EMPs left. He is a little bit worried about it. Oh, if he were only to go over a little bit further. Oh, and the SCV's going down. I'm starting to think that this is just unwinnable for Strato. I just do not think that he can do it. He's pushing down here. This army's weak, and it's going to be cleaned up. Storm mostly his own units. Does Strato a favor there, absolutely. Storming most of his zealots, taking down almost all the shields. Now he's pushing up the ramp, which is never an advantageous position, but when you're this far ahead, you can do things like this. Let's see, I like him pushing in there. I would like to see more warp-ins coming. Certainly a closer proxy pylon or even a warp prison would very much help him out. But here he's going to work on the production, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. I very much expect a GG any moment here. There's just not a lot left for Strato. He's got this other base up, but his production's going down. He doesn't have a whole lot to fight against these. Simply sit back, these Colossi doing a ton of damage. 13 kills on one, 7 on the other. And an expletive going down at the end of the game instead of a GG. Pretty much the exact opposite. A little bit interesting game there. You know, the Terran player was just kind of down the whole time. I mean, once that the blink did a lot of damage. I wouldn't necessarily call it an all-in, even though the description kind of said it was. It was only a 3-gate. 4 gates is what you typically see in all-in, and he was able to transition out. And, you know, once he did that amount of damage, there just wasn't a whole lot left to the game. He just kind of did the right thing. He got more ahead, you could say. You know, he went home, he expanded, got upgrades, started getting, you know, good tech. Widow Mines could have been a big-time help for Strato that really would have delayed everything, and he needed to get a third base up a little bit quicker. And really, Widow Mines would have really solved a lot of problems for him, would have forced Frost to go back, really kind of get a Robo up since he didn't have one for so long, and then an Observer in addition to that. Could have done a lot more damage. And then Widow Mine drops. You know, he was without detection, and that is how you can really get ahead of a Protoss player, especially when they go Twilight Council first. So an interesting game. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Hopefully I'll be doing a couple more of these on our CastIt. I do enjoy it, so please leave me feedback. Anything I'm doing good, bad, please let me know. This is only my second cast. I watch a good amount of StarCraft. I like to think I'm decent at analysis, but please, 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 just leave comments on the Reddit thread and let me know how things went. So this is the Danny Source signing off, and I will